Scorpion. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the World Series of Bowling. What World Series of Bowling is this? 16?
16.
Scorpion
25.
Championship pregame show. We got Chris Prather, Bo Kroll this time tuning in. One of us made the Scorpion. Two of us didn't. But what was your experience like during Scorpion Championship qualifying, and then also the match play bracket? Maybe some inside info that you might have for these players on the TV show today, which we can watch scrolling underneath.
Yeah, so I qualified 16th, middle of the pack. Who did we bowl first? Go back to the bracket.
Bowled Tim Foy.
No, the first.
Oh, you bowled Ahmad.
Ahmad last week.
Last week you bowled Ahmad.
Yeah, it was a urethane fest, and got by him. And I bowled number 1 seed Tim Foy Jr. this morning.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It went well. We won that match. It was a hard-fought match, though. It was going back and forth. Got a couple lucky breaks in there. I let him win the game.
As we do.
Yeah.
Let him win one?
Yeah, let him win one.
He low-key shot 270 at you. You let him win?
I thought I had a chance, 213.
Yeah.
I had a chance. And then the last game, step of the 10th frame to strike out and force him to double to beat me. Just didn't do it. But then we bowled EJ Tackett,
The reigning player of the year.
the reigning player of the year, the number 1 bowler for the last couple years.
It's okay, Book.
We tied game 1. We both missed one time.
279.
279. Yep. I won the roll off in that one. Then game 2, our look went away real quick. We tied at 185. And
Two
he won that
ties.
one. 2 ties. 3 ties for EJ.
Back-to-back ties
12
to
hours.
start the
Yeah.
match. Andy tied last night. Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
So you've done plenty of bowling on this pattern.
Yeah.
You said you threw urethane a bunch. Do you see urethane being a factor on the TV show? I mean, we have a bunch of guys that don't necessarily throw it all the time. Our first match is going to be Rasmus versus Ryan. I think if somebody's going to throw it, I'd assume it'd be Ryan.
Yeah.
Tobias, by that second match, like you said, I mean, I feel like you're one of the urethane kings out there. I do. Like, I honestly feel like you're one of those guys that, like, when people are throwing urethane, you're throwing it probably a little longer than everybody, hooking it more than everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with it going away for you, like almost immediately, do you think these guys are going to be able to use it at all? And if they do you think they're going to be able to use it more than a game or 0?
I don't think we'll see urethane in this match on TV.
I think if there was a Brunswick guy on the show, then you'd have the opportunity to see it. But
Yeah.
the motive urethanes and the red IQ just doesn't hook enough for the length of pattern and how much friction there is not on the lane.
Yeah.
Because they're also using ice oil for this one. Yeah, because it's ice, fire
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
patterns. If it was fire oil, then there'd be a little bit more likelihood, just because there's a little bit more friction using the fire oil. It moves away from the front part of the lane a little bit quicker than it does with the ice, but it also doesn't carry down, so you can throw it for a longer period of time because it doesn't create that hang, because it kind of sticks to the ball.
Yeah.
I'd agree. I just don't think, like you said, Chris, I think if the black ball and the black hammer was on the show tonight, I think maybe you'd have a chance to throw it. And even then, like Book said, maybe a game.
Yeah.
Maybe the first 2 games.
Maybe
if
a
that.
game, maybe 2. For those of you saying yesterday was a great show, Skosh here says it. Yeah, like Keplinger got in trouble because he tried to throw it for more than a game.
Yep.
I mean, he still bowled a great game. He just ended up losing to a better game. But, I mean, yeah, I think yesterday was a pattern that for sure people were going to throw it, and it really didn't last as long as we all thought it would. And then today, I don't think so. And the guys on the show tell me even more that it's probably not going to be thrown.
Yep.
With the way that they like to play the lanes, as well as just the balls that they have in their hands. 4 motive guys, got to be the most motive guys I've ever seen on a TV show.
For sure, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen 5.
And it's a whole bunch of different styles as well. Like, their rev rates are all pretty similar, but
Their games are not.
their games are not.
Yeah.
The way that they play the lanes is very different. Like, Tobias is like a new school Mika,
Yeah.
right? Lofting it over the front part of the lane, but very consistent with it. Rasmus, a little bit more traditional, I know. There's a ghost in here with us right now. He keeps rattling the windows
windows.
behind us. So
Windows or the ceiling, I can't.
yeah, it's a little bit of both.
One of
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, the ceiling panels up there kind of move a little bit. So he's just coming around saying hey.
Saying what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd agree though. Like we got much like we have a bunch of new players on the show. We also have a bunch of new players, really to the PBA Tour, kind of, or at least new faces to TV. Like Tobias has made a show before.
Correct.
Rafik has made a show before. For both of them, it's been a while.
Yep.
And I think this might be Rasmus's first.
I don't.
He's been a very good player for a long time.
Yeah.
He doesn't dabble into the PBA Tour with the exception of the World Series.
Right.
And I know he didn't make any last year or the year before that.
Right. Yeah. He, being Swedish, comes over with all of the other Swedish guys.
Yeah.
Doesn't get to travel near as much as like Jesper, but I think it was because he hasn't had the immediate success that Jesper did have.
Yeah.
So he has to kind of pick and choose when he can
I'll
come
say
over
it's-
because it is way more expensive. We're already here for 3 weeks, so that's going to be expensive, and then on top of that, you have to pay for a couple $1,000 flight, and no matter what, because those flights are so expensive, he's here until Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's bowling the Masters or not. I think he might be, but either way, I think ultimately we're really looking at who's going to control the pocket the best, who's going to make their spares. 4 potential first-time titleists, and then you got EJ Tackett. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a kind of a war of nutrition here.
I will be super curious to see how all those guys bowl.
Yeah.
Ryan, I would say, is probably the least experienced, but the most experienced out of the new guys in this setting, at least.
Yeah.
Rafik is #1 overall seed. I mean, if we're going in order, Rasmus, I guess we could take a look at the bets a little bit here. So if we're looking at odds and who is least likely to win versus who's most likely to win, we don't gamble. We're not allowed to gamble, but the odds are on Bet Rivers, which we've looked up and we are going to bring to you guys. Rasmus Edval, he's plus 1,700 to win, which is what Boog said, the bet that he would pick, because it is the most to win.
For sure. If you're a betting man,
That's-
1,700.
That's the one where you're like, please,
Yeah.
I need it.
Yeah, just those odds. No one's gonna give you those odds.
No. He has to win 4 matches, but Ryan, who also has to win 4 matches, is half as good. So he's got plus 900 to win, which tells me that everybody likes Ryan.
Yeah.
And he bowled on the Players TV show last year,
Yep.
bowled extremely well. He's bowled on college TV shows. He's bowled on the King of the Lanes TV show. Like, he's had plenty of experience in this environment to give him what he needs if he finds a look early enough to go win a couple matches and put himself where he has a chance.
Yeah, and I think on top of that, he's got a lot of experience in this building specifically, bowling Team USA trials and absolutely dominating that event. So I think confidence level is pretty high in this building. Knows
Very
what
comfortable.
Very comfortable. Knows what the pairs are doing. Got to watch the show last night to see how the lanes play differently, and then obviously he's got Hall of Famer Chris Barnes behind him, telling him all kinds of
Just in his ear.
yeah.
And one of his best friends, Alec Keplinger, last night bowled on the TV set, so
Exactly.
he can give him, he might have notes of this pair from this week of saying, hey, the right lane does this, the left lane hooks, the left lane doesn't hook.
Yep.
However, maybe he has a couple extra notes, even more along the way, of saying like, oh well, Kep had this with the urethane, or Kep, the urethane is not a ball that I'm going to use tonight because of what happened with Kep.
Exactly.
So he'll have all the information. Will it be the correct information? We don't know, but he's plus 900. Tobias Boarding, he has plus 800 odds, which is only slightly better than Ryan, and he is a first game bye, essentially.
Yeah.
So he's only got to win 3 matches. Ryan or Rasmus would have to win 4. EJ next up, plus 135. It's EJ Tackett.
Yeah,
we're used to seeing these odds, especially on a TV show full of newcomers.
Yeah.
You just expect him to bowl well. He's probably going to put the pressure on early. There might be a couple antics, walking shots out, or giving a little extra fist pump, getting the crowd fired up early, letting them know that, hey, I'm still the player of the year. This is still my set.
Yeah.
And I got 2. What does he got? 2 titles this year already?
U.S. Open.
And
No, he's got the.
It's just that's the one.
Who won in Springfield? It wasn't even that long ago, boys.
It feels like that long.
It does. It really was that long ago.
Missouri. EJ won.
Yeah.
EJ won in
He
Springfield.
does
Yeah,
have
there
two
you go.
titles.
All right.
So EJ does have 2 titles. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, McDom. So yeah, I mean, EJ's got 2 titles this year. He bowled on the TV set himself last night, and then also bowled the PBA Junior after that TV show ended. So I mean, he's got the most experience on the set so far. He had basically 3 games, because he had he had
The roll-off.
I mean, he really has almost 4 games
Yeah.
on the set, because he had the roll-off, which was 7 frames, which was wild.
Yeah.
And then he had, before that, the whole game that he bowled against Ethan.
Plus
Then
the
he
game.
had the game he bowled against Andrew. And then after that, he bowled at least 1 game with
the junior bowlers.
With the junior bowlers. So
Yeah.
he has a read on the pair if anybody does. He knows what it needs.
Yep.
He's going to probably adjust the strategy a little bit, just because of the pattern.
Yeah, the angles won't be as steep, but I could see him throwing the exact same ball.
Yeah, 100%. And that is why he is plus 135.
Yeah.
And then that brings us to our number 1 seed, Rafiq Ismail, which would be plus 120. He is the odds-on favorite to win, but not by much.
Yeah.
So the lone lefty atop the leaderboard, he's the kind of wild card for me. Across his matches, he bowled very well. At least I thought he bowled very well. The first match against Sean Maldonado, he started off 2-0, 2-0, 190, but the back-to-back 190s were winners, and then shot 240. And then this week, because that was a week ago,
Yeah.
this week he bowled Rasmus and went 220, 250, 250.
Yeah.
So he bowled very well. I will say, as the week went on, it did not seem like he bowled better.
Right.
It seemed like as the weeks went on here in Reno, and as the patterns changed, he bowled worse. But clearly, he's not lost a step on the Scorpion.
Yeah, and I think that the bowling worse part is the fact that even though we're laying out different patterns, the lane machine is making the patterns flatter because they're constantly getting run.
Yeah.
And when they get flatter like that, the right-handers tend to go a little further right or little further left, which then gets into that head oil that the lefties desperately need. And I think that that's probably where the dip in score has come from. So the fact that he's the 1 seed, if he was the 5 seed, I think that it would be a significantly taller task, or even if he was the 3 seed, just because he would have to deal with significantly more transition because he's going to have more practice shots.
Yeah.
Whereas being the number 1 seed, he could actually take a practice off. He doesn't have to throw shots; they're optional.
Yeah.
Right. So he could try to preserve that left side of the lane and not throw shots, or maybe even like carve him up a little bit to where he has guaranteed hook.
Yeah.
I really like his opportunity to try to, take down either EJ or
Whoever
Ryan or
might come
whoever.
through.
Yeah, I like the opportunity.
I would say Rafiq has the best chance, strictly because he can carve him up. I know the odds are plus 120. I'd put him at much worse odds of minus 150, because I think he's won everything there is to win internationally.
Yep.
He's the best bowler on, as of a couple months ago, the best team in the world. So he's got no lack of confidence. He came out here, bowled amazing the first tournament.
Yep.
And I think the only lefty who beat him in the field ended up being Jesper.
Yeah.
And that's over all of the patterns. So he bowled amazing this week and these weeks, I guess. And I expect him to use all of his practice time to chalk up a spot a little outside. Maybe he'll take a little 2-and-1 in and just rifle it off that spot for 10 frames. And if it strikes, he's going to win. And if it doesn't, he's going to still bowl a good game.
Yeah, I think that's his key to success is use more surface in his practice shots and then allow himself to throw it as hard as he possibly can. Because if you've never watched Rafiq bowl, he is a throw it as hard as you can, rifle it, wherever he's got to throw it, and he gets pins flying around.
Yeah, it is speed, rotation, and rev rate.
Yeah.
So the pins will fly left or right. If they strike, they will not stop striking.
Yep.
I do think if he catches a funky pair here and doesn't like what he sees, it'll be a struggle like it is, for the righties or lefties when when you get on one of those tricky pairs, it'll be hard for him to make it a whole lot nicer than it is. But I don't expect his game to see a whole rough patch in the middle of the lane.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why a bunch of these motive guys have made it onto TV. Look, what do you think about Rafiq's strategy? Do you think he's going to try and carve up a spot? Do you think he's just going to bowl?
Oh, absolutely. Being the lone left-hander on the pair and getting all the practice shots, hit a jackal with like 500, burn up a line, and then parallel in, throw at it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he bowls good, he's going to win.
Yeah.
I think these guys, the right-handers, are going to use a lot of surface in practice, and they're going to chop them up. I think scores are going to be fairly lower for
this TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say on Bet Rivers, which again we cannot bet because we are members of the Professional Bowling Association. I saw a bunch of you guys pop in and ask, why can't we bet? Well, it's because we can't bet on our own sport.
That's like basketball players.
Yeah, it's like a basketball player betting on another basketball game. You
Yeah.
can't, even if it's not your game, you still can't do it.
Yeah.
The scores last night, the over-under that Bet Rivers posted was 455 to combined for that first match, and for this first match it's 435. I don't know if it's a combination of the players, but even last night it was Alec Keplinger versus Jesper. So not too different from here, but 435. They're predicting the score to be 220's a winner.
Yeah.
230's a winner to 2-0. So
Yeah.
Mr. Poor MR, whatever that name is. We appreciate you watching from Canada. It says you said you're struggling to pick it up from Canada. I believe that Bull TV streams it for the international crew.
Yeah.
I believe they do. So if you do have a VPN outside of the United States, which probably a lot of you do, seeing as the majority of this TV show is international,
Yep.
You can get on Bull TV and watch this event live. It starts on FS1 for everybody in the US, FS1 in 43 minutes. Yeah, 43 minutes on FS1.
Yep.
It will also be on YouTube TV, which FS1 is on YouTube TV. Yeah. Let's check and see some of the comments. We'll fire in some comments here. Look through. You guys are complaining about us not reading the chat. We're reading it. We just don't acknowledge. Yeah, 35. Fox Sports will show this on YouTube 35 minutes after the match is over, no commercials. I didn't know that.
I did not know either.
I like to tune in live myself.
Yeah.
I like to watch live. It's way more exciting. Wow, there's so many comments. Oh my. Feeding through them. Yeah, let's try and break it down match by match here. So, first matchup, I'm going to put up a poll on YouTube for all you guys watching out there. First matchup, we got Ryan versus Rasmus. How do you guys think it'll go? Do you think, like you said, do you think the scores are going to be low? Do you think they're going to be low out the gate, or do you think it'll be higher scoring pace to start and then slowly get lower? I'll let you guys pick your winners, pick the scores. We'll write them down. We'll see who's right, who's wrong, and who is somewhere in the middle.
Boog, you want to go first?
Yeah, so the first match we have Rasmus and
Ryan.
I think the nerves on foreign soil for Rasmus will kind of get to him.
Okay.
I think he might shoot 190, but I could see Ryan just gearing down and shooting a very well bowled 230 to win the first game.
Yeah.
I think 230's out there the first game for majority of the guys.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And especially looking at like matches that Ryan's bowled and Rasmus is bowled. One thing that I've noticed is as the lanes break down and you're able to use a little bit more of the friction, that's when the motor balls actually tend to look a little bit better.
Yep.
Because they are a little bit smoother. I do think that in the beginning, Rasmus is probably going to struggle with his ball not reading early enough.
Yeah.
Whereas Ryan, obviously 560 rev rate or whatever he has no problem with his ball picking up early enough. I think that the winner is going to be the one that doesn't have that costly split late in the game. I feel like the nerves are I feel like it's going to be a pretty close game. It's probably going to be 215 to 210, 205, something like that. And I think someone's going to split late in the game. That's going to end up costing them the match. Or someone's going to make a split late in the game that changes the momentum.
If you had to pick, who would you pick as your winner?
I'm picking Ryan. I'm picking Ryan for sure. He's got the most, you know, comfort in this building.
Yeah.
He has really, you know, a crap load of confidence going on right now. I mean, he's a young kid. He's probably feeling like Superman a little bit, where, you know, feels like nothing can really touch him.
Untouchable, maybe.
Yeah, a little untouchable, and he's just gonna go out there and kind of.
I'll tell you right now, the fans definitely also agree with you guys.
Yeah, 93%.
We got 93% so far on 125 votes that it's going to be Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm going to rock with the fans the whole way, and I'll just try and pick the scores. If you guys want to comment down below and try and fire in what you guys think the scores of the first match are going to be. I see a couple of you did already. Wayne Chester said it. A couple guys saying Ryan's going to win by 18. A lot of Ryan, 240 to win. I'm agreeing with you guys. I don't think it's going to take 240 to win. I'm picking Ryan just from a confidence, comfortability.
Is he riding the wave right now of like rookie of the year? He's the front runner right now, right?
Ryan's the front runner for sure for rookie of the year, especially making a TV show here. The other front runner would have been Hayden Stipich, who got sick, wasn't allowed to bowl the World Series because he had to withdraw because of illness.
Yeah.
And then we had Cam Crow, who bowled well on this pattern.
Yeah.
And just didn't bowl well enough to make the show.
Yeah.
So couple bad breaks. He said couple not great shots himself. So I mean, I would say Ryan for sure is the front runner.
Yeah.
And it would take somebody else making probably more than one show. Like even if Cam or Hayden Stipich makes a show at the Players, Ryan's like 8th in points before the World Series. The next closest was like 30th.
Yeah.
Or 25th. So I think Ryan's the front runner. I don't think he's really thinking about it too much because I think he knows he's ahead and ahead by a lot.
Yeah.
So I think he's clean and clear. He's in, and he's winning this game 223 to Rasmus 204. Yeah, I don't think it's going to come down to the 10th. I think Ryan's going to be able to get a look at a ball change maybe or the area change heading into that match number 2. So what do we think? I'll end this poll over here. 91% Ryan. Jeez, guys, favor them more. All right. I don't even want to create a second poll. Match number 2. I already know where this is going with you guys. It'll be Ryan versus Tobias. Do we think the scoring pace? Before we get into the second match, do you guys think the scoring pace is going to stay low, like stay in that 220 to 210 to win games, or do you think it's going to progress? Because as Ryan bowled his matches, we're looking here, he shot 220, 210. So his first match, he bowled Sean Lavery Spar, 193, 217, 20, 250, game 4. The next match against Trevor Roberts also went to 4 games, 220, 210, 220, 220. So he's not bowling huge games.
Right.
Following match against Dombrowski, 210, 211, 240, 240, 212. So he's not exactly lighting them up, and none of the guys really are, except for Feig.
Yeah.
But do you think the scoring pace stays kind of in that 220s to 210s is a winner?
I definitely think it could be. Scorpion as a pattern in just its history has always been a relatively lower scoring pattern in comparison to the other animal patterns. It's always been a little bit tougher. The transition always happens pretty quickly. And if you're not on top of it, it's really easy to get behind in a couple moves or a ball change. So especially being on TV, lights, everything like that, nerves, those moves are going to happen even faster, and they're going to be even more crucial. So I think if you bowl somewhere between 225 and 235 every single game, you are either going to have the opportunity to win, or you're going to be ahead in the match every single game tonight. The only time that I think that it could change is the first game that EJ gets onto the show. I think he could just have that EJ 240, 250, 260, because he gets those practice shots, gets lined up, and then gets into a big lead right off the rip against whoever he's bowling. The other thing I think could happen is Rafiq breaks him down really well for himself, and then just pops off at 250 or 260 as well. because Rafiq has that kind of striking potential.
Mhm.
But again, it just totally depends on how they break down the lanes for themselves.
I would agree. I put a poll on our YouTube page saying, what do you think the score is going to take to win? 230s, 230s. When does the next game start? Show starts in 35 minutes.
Yeah.
FS1. So make sure you're
Go tune
popping
in.
over there, tuning in as we close this down in half an hour. Book, what are you thinking? Scoring pace.
Fairly lower. I think the 220, 230 range is going to be a good score out there. But I'm interested to see what you guys say for the next match with
Yeah.
Tobias and Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, Tobias and Ryan. Tobias has more experience than Erasmus in this environment. Probably a little more experience overall in terms of larger, bigger competition. I know Rasmus bowls on the Swedish national team, but he doesn't go to every event. I feel like Tobias does.
Tobias does for Germany.
He
for sure.
is probably Germany's best bowler. I know Paul Purps is out there and has bowled very well recently, but I think Tobias is definitely their best right-hander.
Yeah, Tobias
and
is a little older.
just the most consistent across the last 5-10 years.
Yeah. Paul is only like 20, right?
He's young. Yeah, he's
19,
young.
20.
He's
So,
young.
I mean,
he looks like he's 30.
yeah.
Like he's got the full beard, the muscles, everything.
Yeah. But Tobias is a little older. He's been on Team Germany for a while now. So I definitely like that. I think Tobias is going to lean on that international experience and try to use that to calm his nerves, making his first show in a while.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think Tobias might have a little bit more. I wouldn't say confidence, but I'd say Tobias just has a little more relaxation. He's made a TV show here at the World Series. I think Tobias bowls fine. I don't think he's one that gets super nervous. I watched firsthand his match with BJ. It wasn't the prettiest.
Yeah.
So I think he is going to rely on Rasmus and Ryan to break down the pair for him a little bit better than he did for himself.
Right. I don't think he's one to really game plan and try to like use surface here because it makes it better for me or anything like that. I feel like he's the type of bowler that just kind of goes out there and throws strike shots right off the rip.
Same.
He in BJ's match, BJ was talking about it, and he said that he literally goes, "What the heck?" He goes, Tobias literally just started with a very surfaced ball from 17 off the rip, game one. There was no play right, jam it up there, and move in slowly. It was brutal.
This is where I see scores taking a dip because he's going to throw a big ball, I think. I got to watch right next to him. His scores were not impressive. Very much a grind fest. He threw a big motive ball, a lot of surface, and just trapped the 1-3.
And that's one thing that
Peep in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
He said his scores were not impressive. During the BJ match, it was not. He shot 180, 230, 190, 2-0. The back 3 games were winners. The next match, he bowled Marshall 230, 190, 260, 250.
Okay.
But I'm gonna.
You think Marshall's game plan helped him?
100%.
Okay.
Because Marshall is the type of guy that will game plan, try to break the lanes down, and make them easier for himself. And one thing about Tobias is that he's a low-key shot maker, right?
I would agree.
We don't get to see him perform all that much, but there's so many situations where like he doesn't have a whole lot of room, and he will just label a spot over and over and over again.
Yep.
And that's why I call him like the new age Mika, where he has that little bit of loft, but he is a shot maker. So I could 100% see like if they get a little funky, where he can just control the pocket and make really good shots. Make his spares.
I think he'll make him choppy. I think he's going to throw a big ball. It's going to be a hook spot right in the middle of the lane.
I was trying to look to see if they had started practicing.
I was watching Rasmus practice, and he was throwing. A couple guys said early on the stream that Rasmus will, or that the new Evoke looked really good, and Rasmus was throwing the original Evoke, that super bright like pink, green, and gray ball.
The big one.
He was throwing the huge one way far right down there, which tells me he's got a game plan to make him nice, or at least just stay to the right and move in a little bit.
And kind of going back to what Barnes was talking about yesterday with the right-handers kind of teaming up and making them easy for the right side to kind of not make it so easy for the left, right? Again, we have one lefty here. I really don't know, like, obviously all the international guys know each other. They bowl with each other as much as we bowl with each other. So there could be a little bit of that going on as well, where they're
for sure.
And especially like I do think that if like EJ was the one to suggest it though, they would be like, nah, we're not going to do that. But I think if the
especially with them all being on motive staff, I could easily see Brett pulling them in a little bit like what I
Yeah.
talked about yesterday with, hey, Ethan and EJ, let's get together and try and have one of us win.
Yeah.
You guys throw it similar enough in terms of rev rate and ball speed where let's just get together and try and make a plan that's going to help our ball strike. I think
Yeah.
it might be a similar case here, like, hey, righties, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we should make them nice. Rafiq's on motive staff too, so hey, let's all make them nice. Let's make our balls look like they're going to strike every single shot.
Yeah.
I don't think making them hard. I do think making them hard will make a motive ball win no matter what.
Yeah.
Because I think if all of a sudden Tobias starts way deep with a lot of surface and they become hard, Ryan is the only one that the motive crew would be trying to knock out. Everybody else is theirs.
Yeah.
So if Rafiq wins, or if EJ wins, or if Tobias or Rasmus, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their balls are going to look good. So I would say, like you said, Tobias probably ruins the lane a little bit, but not on purpose.
No.
And it might even make him better for himself. But I do think that where he's going to play will be deeper than Rasmus and Ryan for sure.
Yeah.
I think Ryan will join him, but I don't think it'll be deeper. I think he'll be deeper to start for sure.
Yeah.
The
Alright.
people on YouTube are voting Ryan as fully expected, but Tobias has got a little crew here. Tobias has got 30% opposed to Rasmus's 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we said, we're big believers in Tobias. We think he's a shot maker. I think scoring pace pending. Who do you guys pick?
I think it's going to come down to like 8th, 9th.
Yep.
Tobias is going to label a shot, put some pressure on Ryan, and I think this is where Ryan's inexperience is going to fail him a little bit, and I think he's going to leave a 2-10 or a 2-8-10 to lose. I think he's going to get a little excited, a little over,
A little fast, maybe.
throw a little quick. That's tends to be his miss, and I think Tobias is going to come out on top of this match. It's going to be like 227 to 211.
Once again, answering more questions from the chat. This does air tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, the TV show starts in 28 minutes. Right behind us, they're warming up on the TV set right now as we speak. So for you guys looking to tune in, it's FS1 tonight, 28 minutes from right now. You can head over there. And right now, we're just giving predictions, pregame show, telling you what their game plans are going to be, what we think they're going to be, scoring predictions, all of it. And if you guys want to tune in, we're looking at Ryan versus Tobias right now. You think Tobias gets the win over Ryan
I do.
in a medium scoring match?
Yeah, 227 to 11.
227 to 11. Okay. So, what do you think? Who are we popping in,
I'm
Bud?
taking Tobias as well. I think he's going to chop him up where he likes them. He's a shot maker. I think Ryan will either throw one through the spot, 210, or just might get the yips
Yeah.
in my 3-6-10. But I'm going to take Tobias here. I'm thinking 209.
209 winner?
209 winner.
Wow.
I can see that too.
Okay.
Right through the
Let's-
middle of the transition.
Yeah. Because game 2, game 3 get tricky out there.
Yeah.
And with the lights, I can only imagine what they're going to be like.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan will have 198. So one hit off.
Yeah.
I'm picking Ryan 238 winner.
Alright.
Yeah, I think Ryan, once Ryan starts feeling it, it usually doesn't just go down and up and down and up. I think he catches it and it gets good and it stays good for a little while at least, which I believe would be Ryan's second highest game of the match play. No. It'd be his 4th highest game out of the 12 that he bowled.
Yeah.
I think he just gets comfortable, starts feeling himself a little bit. He might not have seen Tobias bowl nearly as much as we have,
Yeah.
which will help. Yeah,
For
I
sure.
think it'll help him just be like, I should beat this kid. I'm going to beat this kid. There's nothing in my mind that tells me otherwise.
Isn't Tobias a grown adult?
They're all kids. They're all children. I got roasted on the YouTube channel earlier for calling Ahmad a kid earlier. Yeah. I realize they're all adults. Okay, guys. All right, that brings us to, player of the year.
Yeah.
The book slayer.
Yeah.
The book slayer.
The good old EJ Tackett.
The good old boy.
So based off of chat, this would be EJ versus Ryan.
EJ versus Ryan. Yeah, the chat has voted, and you guys have put EJ versus Ryan. I want to hear what you guys think EJ is going to shoot. Somebody in the chat earlier, I don't know who it was because it's long gone, but they said Ryan's going to shoot back-to-back 300s.
Good luck.
Maybe tomorrow's pattern, not today's. Not today's.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Yikes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
But I think after 3 frames, nobody's gonna have 300.
If I could
Yeah.
bet, I would bet against it.
Okay. Okay. I agree. We got a lot of EJ 250s,
Yeah.
260s, 230s. I agree.
Yeah.
EJ's gonna bowl a good game.
Yeah,
What are we thinking?
I think EJ's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder from yesterday. After talking to him after the show, he was kicking himself a little bit, and I think he's going to come out with a heater. I think he's going to bowl somewhere between 258 and 268. I think it's going to take a huge monster game from Ryan to be able to move on to the title match.
Nope, Ryan wins.
You think
Yeah.
Ryan wins?
Yep, for sure.
Maybe the chip on EJ's shoulder, causes him to, not be
This is
EJ
where I
Tackett.
agree with the chat. Ryan's
Yeah.
going to shoot 300 against EJ.
All right, that's the first one. That's the first one.
Jace Weber chiming in saying that EJ's going to shoot 301 to Ryan's 220.
So now we're getting handicap.
We're getting actually some more mixed results than I've seen. Gilbert says EJ should have won yesterday. If you guys haven't seen yesterday's show, you go back and watch it on YouTube, on the Fox YouTube channel, or not the PBA's YouTube channel, I don't think. PBA's YouTube channel have it later on, but
Yeah.
right now the Fox YouTube channel will have it. There was a 7-frame roll-off, which was
7.5.
wild.
Yeah.
EJ ended up kind of running out of steam there in the match against Andrew. Andrew
Yep.
won his first singles title in 7 years.
7 years.
In 7 years, in
2018
2018 when he won Player of the Year.
Yep.
So
Yeah. and-
EJ will use it as fuel. I think he'll bowl a good game. Will he win? Will he not? I don't know. I'm letting the chat pick, and 80% of you are believers in the Player of the Year, back-to-back reigning Player of the Year, 5-time titleist last year, 2-time titleist halfway through the season this year. The list goes on. What
Yeah.
makes EJ so good?
Ball roll and the fact that he can get his ball to pick up in different windows front to back. So no matter what pattern is out there, he's getting his ball to hook no matter what. Like, obviously on the right side, there's more friction, there's more transition, everything like that.
Tell
the
me about
lefties,
it.
lefties struggle.
Balled up there. Number 1 seed is left-handed.
Yeah, clearly. You just needed 22 mile an hour ball speed off your hand with 530 rev rate.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have that?
And 80 degrees of rotation. I have the 530 rev rate. I don't have the 22 miles. I don't have the 22 miles an hour in my back pocket or
Yeah.
the rotation like that.
But it doesn't seem to matter how much oil they put out on the lane. He's able to get his ball to pick up before the end of the pattern without using a whole lot of surface. He does it with rev rate, ball roll, and speed to get his ball to read before the end of the pattern. And he's just so good at controlling the pocket. But the bigger thing is how much power he creates. Anytime he hits the pocket, it's striking all the time.
Linda's chiming in saying, "I knew I liked Bud." But Bug picked against Ryan last match.
But going
Anyway,
with the chat.
going with the chat.
Yeah.
So just the fact that EJ can get his ball to pick up front to back different windows. How does he get it to do that?
It's all speed control.
Just speed.
Speed control, because his rev rate and his ball roll, he doesn't have to change it all that much because he uses a really, I'm going to say conservative. It's not really the right word.
I would say it's optimal.
It is optimal for him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't play the lane super aggressively. Like Andrew last night was going through like 23 at the arrows. And
That's aggressive.
That's aggressive because he's creating a whole lot of shape and he's throwing it to all the friction that all the guys created. Whereas EJ decided to stay in the friction where he knew his ball was going to hook and he didn't have to make it hook. But in the long run, it ended up costing him
Burned
because
late. Yeah.
it burned up. That's why he washed out a couple times. And if he would have just moved half a zone or a full zone to the left, he probably puts a little bit more pressure on Andrew. And I think he's going to be a little bit more aware of that. And also, I think that if they don't go into a roll-off, I mean, he probably starts with the front seven.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, even if he doesn't start with the front seven, I don't think he has those shots last night where he washes out.
100%.
Which puts a ton of pressure on Andrew. Knowing Andrew, he deals with it fine, but it's just a whole lot different when you're looking up at the scoreboard and you have 270 and so does he.
Exactly.
Like, it's a little different when you're looking up saying, oh, I need 5-3, 5-3 to win versus, I need the next 6 strikes to win.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, like, EJ plays the lanes conservatively, but his ball roll and power allows him to create the high strike percentage that he has. He finds a part of the lane that allows him there to where he knows that if he throws it a little firm or a little slow, it's not going to blow through it or it's not going to hook too early.
Yeah.
Whereas for someone like myself who has a little bit more natural rotation, if I were to try to play the lanes like EJ Tackett, if I rotate one and I throw it slow, it's through the face. It's a split every single time. And if I throw it a little firm, because I have more rotation, it'll scoot through it for free and get too far down the lane and probably wash out. Whereas if he throws a little firm, it's probably a wrap dime or maybe a 2-pin. And if it's a 2-pin, he's probably rolling it.
Yeah.
And if it's a little slow, it's probably a 9-pin or a trip 4.
Agreed.
Right? And that's what is catapulting EJ to this, historic run of all these TV shows, all these wins, is his ability to control the friction and control the lane and go pair to pair and have control no matter where he's at.
What do we think happens in this match against Ryan? We got 18 minutes till showtime, FS1 again, for you guys who are just tuning in. Show starts 18 minutes on FS1. For you international crew who might not be able to watch FS1, it does go on the Fox YouTube channel 30 minutes after the show is finished, and it also will be on Bull TV. 73% of you said EJ. What do you guys think, EJ or Ryan? You said Ryan.
Ryan.
I'm going to say EJ.
You said EJ.
It's okay to be wrong.
I'm going with Ryan. I don't think he shoots 300, but I think he's just going to be. I think when it's your time, and Ryan's my dog.
Yeah, I would love to see.
This is an unbiased show, but Ryan's my guy.
Yeah.
So we're picking Ryan.
Of the guys on the show that I would want to win, it is Ryan or Rafiq because they're my friends.
I'm just kind of salty about losing to EJ.
Yeah,
So.
I get it. You're gonna want him to lose.
I say Ryan wins with 246. I say every game Ryan gets a little better. 246, Ryan's a winner. What's your winning score? Oh, you said 300.
It's not going to be 300. It's going to be
You said 300.
230 to like 220. It's going to be very close. I don't think anyone is shooting over 260 on the show.
No.
No.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a higher scoring match. I think it's going to be 258 to 247. I think
Justin says Ryan by 100.
Ryan by 100.
That's crazy.
That is wild. Linda said we love this.
I think that coming into the 10th, Ryan has an opportunity to double in the 10th or strike out in the 10th to win, and I think he something crazy happens. He 7-10s or 2-10s or something.
I think
like
Ryan
that.
loses, but
Yeah.
on a bad break when he needs a strike.
Yeah, I think it's a close match.
7-10s, unfortunately, are popular leave in this building.
Popular.
Oh, yeah.
So you think Ryan loses? You think EJ wins with a score of
258 to 247.
258 to 247.
Yeah.
All right, which
Ryan
brings
is
us
wearing black and gold. So, Wichita State over here.
Wichita State colors.
Fitting.
Yeah, but will Chris be wearing a matching jersey in the background?
Probably.
I hope so.
Oh, it's a doubles.
Chris is wearing a blue polo.
Yeah, Chris is definitely wearing a blue polo over with a Roto Grid, with a 900 Global. Excuse me, it's all the same. With a 900 Global polo underneath. Which brings us to our final match. I know we picked Ryan, you picked EJ, the fans picked EJ, so we gotta send EJ through. Again, 16 minutes till showtime. We have EJ versus Rafiq in the championship match. This is where I think things could get interesting.
Yep.
Rafik. No, I think.
Boog's just real salty about this one.
No. But I like the left-hander. I think he's by himself. He sets him up during practice. I don't think he bowls every practice during the commercial breaks.
Oh, I think 100% he does. I think he takes every opportunity he gets to carve up that left side of the lane.
You think so?
Yes. He throws it so hard, I don't think it could get over-under.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he could all of a sudden have over-bounce.
Yeah.
I think it'll only just keep getting better for him.
Okay.
There's a lot of Rafik fans down here in the comments.
I am also a Rafik fan. I think
Super nice guy.
I think that EJ overthinks the potential moves and stuff, and I think instead of just feeling it out, he plays the lanes a little bit too aggressively and gets ahead of the move, and washes out her 210s, and probably bowls about 208, and Rafik bowls 240.
Do you think that last night there was a little bit of the yips or a little bit of nerves from EJ, or do you think it was strictly poor strategy and a single not great shot? Because EJ used to run into these problems where he would.
Oh my God.
Is this an earthquake?
EJ used to. The room was shaking.
Yeah. What
EJ
is
used to
happening?
run into these problems where coming down 8th, 9th, 10th frame, he might cut one a little short. Barnes talked about it last night, saying that he didn't think those shots were nearly as bad as they seemed to be.
Yep.
He thought he just set the lanes up inappropriately for himself, and he's gotten a lot better over the years.
Correct.
Do you think last night's was a little bit of that old EJ where he kind of cut one a little short, or might have thrown not his best shot as the match was getting away from him a little bit?
Yeah, I think a little bit of it. I think pressing a little bit because Andrew had gotten into such a huge lead so early.
That it was, I need to strike,
I need
and I
to
need
strike.
it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe a little gas, but also I think that 7.5 frame roll off.
Just gassed him.
Just, it was we were talking about it afterwards where the adrenaline is so high that you have no choice but to have that adrenaline dump, and you come way, way down, and then you have to build yourself right back up. And it's almost impossible to do. You get so gassed so quickly. EJ, obviously being one of the best in the world, did a really, really good job of it through the first half of the game. The back half, though, you could kind of tell, like, he's like a little unsure of what's happening. He's like, I kind of need to move, but I really don't know what to do. And that's where I think, like, he's going to think too much and get ahead of the move and be too far left. And it's probably going to cost him a little wrap dime or not create as good entry angle. Whereas the ones that typically would strike, this one's not gonna.
Yeah, you're getting a couple people in the chat also agreeing that the potential roll-off might have taken away some of it. What do you think, Book?
I know that I wasn't bowling, so I could have saw the pair with a vantage point. I feel like he could have gone 10 left to be with Andrew and just gear down with that Evo Caseria where it's a big, shinier ball. I think Andrew was in an Ion Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I think EJ could have got in with Andrew and out-hooked him.
Yeah.
Get steeper with his angles. I think he was trying to play the friction too much, where if he got one right, it just fell off of it.
Yeah.
And if I was there, I wasn't, but I would have been way left, getting steep with my ankles. He's the best at it. He can ship the ball right. So I just think it was just poor planning.
No, I agree. I mean, there's nobody in this building which has the 200 best bowlers in the world that think EJ isn't the best at getting left.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to hooking the lane, he always seems to be the first there and the one that strikes the most.
Yeah, so
like you
kinda-
said, ball speed, ball roll, a combo of being able to control it like that just makes him strike. So I was very surprised to see him just stay right.
Yeah.
Not even oh, I need to be left of Andrew, but just like, okay, well, Andrew's playing 25, I'm playing 18 still.
Yeah.
I've never seen that out of EJ. The only time you do see that out of EJ is when he's playing 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he's playing way right, not still in the middle of the lane. So I think that might have just been, like you guys said, a little poor game planning.
Yep.
We got the show starting up in 11 minutes here. What do we think? The fans are voting with EJ. This one's our pick. We don't have anybody advancing from this match.
No.
What do we think? Rafik, EJ, what's the score? What we doing?
I'm gonna go Rafik.
Rafiq.
I'm going to go Rafiq. I think Rafiq breaks the lanes down really well for himself. Having experienced him bowling against him with Team Malaysia,
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
they are really good at game planning and breaking the lanes down to better themselves. And whether it betters their opponent or not is
They don't
irrelevant.
care.
They literally don't care.
No.
I mean, he is one of the best Asian bowlers ever. Definitely the best bowler from Malaysia.
This would be the first Malaysian title.
Correct.
Timmy
Tim
Tan
Tan.
bowled for it earlier.
In Springfield.
Didn't bowl for the title, but ended up finishing third.
Yep.
Rafiq now going to try and he's going to be probably the first one in a championship match
Yeah, and honestly, I think Rafiq was the first
to make a TV show.
to make a
years
TV show
ago.
years ago. Yep. And in all honesty, Rafiq has been so good for so long. Like, nothing against Timmy Tan or any of the other Malaysians, but the guy that should be winning the first title as a Malaysian should be Rafiq. He's kind of the
He's been the man for a while.
yeah, and that's saying a lot because there's so many good bowlers on that Malaysian team. So I think he does an excellent job of breaking the lanes down for himself. He has a ton of
100%.
training in that, and I think he takes full advantage of being the only lefty and being in the title match as the only lefty.
I would agree. You say, but he will be nervous. I know that the PBA Tour is the biggest stage for us. I don't think it's the biggest stage for them.
I can tell you right now that he has bowled for way more money than we ever have.
Yeah, no, agreed. The way that their overseas countries work, a lot of them pay big money for world medals, world championship, World Cup, SEA Games, Asian Games, all of those tournaments. I agree that he will be nervous, but he's bowled on these stages. He's for sure bowled in front of bigger crowds.
Yeah.
Because he's bowled in arenas. When they won in Hong Kong, that we had an arena in downtown Hong Kong that was packed for the night show when they won on TV.
Yeah.
I think things like that have meant more to him and more to them for sure than a PBA Tour title. Being the first will mean a lot, but I don't think it's nearly as much pressure as people think.
Yeah.
Just because they value bowling for the Malaysian team a whole lot more than they do bowling out here in a singles competition on the PBA Tour.
Yeah. Team for them is everything.
Yes.
It's very similar to like a college atmosphere where they live together, they train together, practice together. It is a family that they have.
Yeah.
And it's very similar for that in a lot of the Asian countries.
Agreed.
Boog, who's your pick?
Rafiq. I think he sets them up very nicely. For
You think
himself.
Rafiq to win? What was the game? What was the game score?
I think he's going to bowl 248, and EJ's going to bowl 235.
Okay. Do you think Rafiq needs to strike the 10th to win?
No, I think Rafiq is going to finish first, and he's going to shut him out. I think Rafiq is going to let EJ start the match, and Rafiq's just going to bowl his score and put whatever pressure there is on EJ.
Yeah, I think Rafiq.
I'm sorry. Rocket Willie said, "Hi, I come to you from the future." EJ rolls an ankle in the third frame. Trust me, he ain't forfeiting if he rolls an ankle.
Yeah, we also don't want to wish ill on any of our fellow players.
No,
but,
absolutely
But could
not.
you imagine that we're gonna be looking up Rocket Willie?
I'm gonna come for you if that happens. Like, tell me what I need to know. So you think Rafiq?
I think Rafiq sets him up nicely for himself. The lone left-hander. He has the world. The left side's walled here.
I just listen. The last thing I want to hear is the left side's so easy. Let's just say hypothetically 2 lefties win at the World Series, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it was fair."
Technically,
Sure, it was fair because the ones that got there won.
Yeah. No, but I
Whoop-de-doo.
think Rafiq does it on TV. The very first Malaysian to win a PBA Tour title. And it's going to be 232 to 219.
To 219. If we're going with the fans, which we are, I'm picking Ryan Barnes.
hey,
No. If we have to pick Rafiq or EJ, I'm picking Rafiq as well, and I think he shoots a big game. I think he's got 250 in him, and I don't think it matters in the 10th. I want it to matter because I think Rafiq will double in the 10th, And I just think it'd be one of those awesome moments, like Malaysian bowler stepping up for the first time to win a national title on the PBA Tour, doubles in the 10th to win. His team's going to be here watching.
Yeah.
He's got people from back home for sure watching. He'll have his family, he'll have his friends, the other bowlers on the Malaysian team, men and female, will all be rooting for him.
Yep.
So I think it'd be one of those really awesome moments. EJ's gonna have another chance later this week. That's a guarantee.
Tomorrow.
You think he has another chance tomorrow?
He's made every cut.
I meant the World Championship. He's gonna have a pop back because he's so far ahead already.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to make that show for
Yeah,
sure.
he's-
There's still 16 games left with the bonus pins and everything, but he's so far ahead.
But he is 250 pins ahead of third.
Yeah, it just depends on if he can hold off Belmo through all the matches and everything. It's going to be...
If he can hold off Boog,
Let's get there.
we got.
Boog is motivated
We gotta
now.
climb up.
Boog is about to go 7,000 over for 16 games.
Yeah, we're gonna need it
Yeah,
just to catch third.
yeah.
I'm picking Rafiq as well. 257 double in the 10th to win.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So that puts maybe EJ Bowling.
EJ Bowling 230, 239.
Yeah.
Yeah, 239 is a weird one. Yeah, 239. That way EJ can, or that way Rafiq can strike the 10th win. Yeah. Yeah. Does the PBA want international attention? Absolutely. This is kind of, the World Series was built for this.
Yep.
Like the World Series was built to be the World Series, the world's best bowlers coming together in one place. The PBA Tour is a hard place to come out, travel to because it's expensive. However, the world was meant to come and bowl these events, and as shown, the world is plenty good enough to make TV, win titles. There's 3 out of the 5 on the TV show today, which happens in 3 minutes on FS1, by the way. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? We got
That comment, the PBA is also expanding. Like there's regionals now in Japan. There's regionals in Sweden now.
Yeah, they've always had like a JPBA, but now they're expanding into another really large bowling community in Sweden, which has a ton of good bowlers.
Yeah.
Their national team has proven to be the best of the best, women's and men's. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing more and more international players continue to come out to the World Series. I think there were over 60 or 70 in the World Series this year, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
And hopefully it just grows even more for next year.
Yep.
You got anything that you wanna anything you wanna see?
I'm over here watching them warm up, and Rafiq is throwing
That's great.
the, what is that, the blue and white one? The Forge.
the Sub-Zero.
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 Sub-Zero
Forge
Forge.
Sub-Zero. Looks like it's got some surface on it.
He's creating a spot.
He is. He is doing a really good job for himself. He's also struck with every ball that he's thrown so far. He's thrown 3 different ones.
Rafiq.
And then I'm looking at EJ. EJ was throwing the big, the
Evoke.
bubblegum Evoke. Yeah.
Evoke.
And he's sliding at like 20 already. So the Evoke looked like it had some surface on it. So I also think that he's trying to carve him up a little bit, force the guys to play in that middle zone of the lane, sliding like 25-ish. So it'll be really interesting to see how they break down. It should be a pretty good show. Ultimately, hoping either Ryan or Rafiq win, just because of storylines.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's gonna be good. Hopefully, you guys tune into FS1 and check out all the shows.
We'll catch you guys FS1 right now. 1 minute show starts up. PBA bowling, Ryan versus Rasmus Edval, and yeah, that's it. Also, Ira Baker, you've asked 6,000 times if I'm going to Junior Gold. I think I'm going to Junior Gold for sure. Maybe, we'll see.
Yeah, who knows?
But I will be there for sure. Hopefully, giving out some fun stuff and meeting a ton of the juniors. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys FS1 right now. PBA World Series 16 Scorpion
Click
Championship
it on TV.
right now. FS1. Switch over there, whether you're watching on Facebook or watching on YouTube. It's time to tune in to FS1
Heck
and
yeah,
catch the
brother.
show. We'll catch you guys